And I said, oh, can't we just go put a Band-Aid on it? And then she said, no, it's way worse than a Band-Aid situation. I'm Alva Thornhill, and I was born and raised and lived my whole life at Ballard, a farm. Becki and I raised hogs and cattle and a little bit of row crop. I stepped up there to break him apart to shoo him away, and the boar did not intend to bite me. He just slung his head, and one of his tusks caught my leg and ripped it from under the kneecap to up above it. This is Becki Smith. She's my fiance, and she was up there with me when when the accident happened, and the one that brought me to the hospital.
To visualize, he was literally sitting down in the dirt, right, and there's hogs around us, and I pulled off his rubber boot because we both had like just our hog clothes on. So I pulled off his rubber boot, and I could see the cut, and I could see that it was really bad. And he was, like he said, put a Band-Aid on it for me, and we'll be fine. Because all he could think is, we got to finish moving these hogs, because that's Alvy. It's not hurt that bad. Band-Aid me up and let's go.
I took my boots off because we'd been out in the hog lot, so they had hog manure and mud and everything on them. So we took them off, and that's when we realized that it was bleeding so bad, and my sock was completely red, and they dumped some blood out of my boot. It was that much. After we got here, they sounded pretty serious. They said, we got to get it fixed right now. And they said that I'd lost a lot of blood, which, I really don't know how much you can lose and still. But I was, I would be getting cold, and they was telling me that was because I had lost a lot of blood and stuff. They kept putting warm blankets on me and stuff.
The nurses were just amazing. They came out immediately, and nobody was like freaking out that there was blood dripping, and like it kind of looked like a war zone back there. It was that bad. There was blood everywhere, towels with blood on the floor, and he was in a lot of pain.
He come in and looked at it, and he says, he says, oh, that's a bad cut, and want to know what happened. We told him, and he said he could sew that up. And then he got looking at it, and he says there's some bone damage and there's some ligament damage in there.
Dr. Johnston was our ER physician, evaluated him, got imaging in a timely fashion, and unfortunately discovered that Mr. Thornhill had a pretty significant injury from his beloved pigs to his knee. He actually had a fracture to the bone in his hip, the thigh bone, near the knee. And he also had an injury to his ACL and other cartilage structures that hold your knee together.
Then Dr. Carroll come in and looked at it and done his thing and said that it needed to have surgery done on it.
Dr. Johnston immediately contacted Dr. Carroll, who is our wonderful orthopedic surgeon that takes care of patients here at Bates, and we were able to get Mr. Thornhill's knee repaired. We always have a team approach to care for our patients here. It starts with Dr. Johnston and the nurses in the emergency room, continued upstairs with me and our wonderful inpatient nurses, and then obviously with Dr. Carroll and the OR nursing staff. So as the hospitalist physician, I had the pleasure of taking care of Mr. Thornhill on the floor, both before his surgery and afterward.
I mean, he didn't know anything about farming or hogs either, and he'd come in and talk to me at 10, 15 minutes a day just to see how things was going and what we was actually doing with the hogs and stuff like that. And says, did you butcher that pig? And we said, no, it was an accident. The pig didn't intend to hurt me. So
Mr. Thornhill was telling me that he initially didn't think it was too bad, but on second thought, he decided to come to the emergency room. We're glad he did. If you ever have a deep cut or anything, any kind of injury to your chest, abdomen, or head or neck, we would absolutely recommend contacting emergency services, whether that's an ambulance, the emergency department. In my opinion, when it comes to any kind of an accident or trauma, the old adage, it's far better to be safe than sorry, is absolutely true. We would so much rather someone come to our emergency room and be looked over, checked out, imaging if needed, and be told that everything is okay, than the alternative of winging it at home and then things go the other direction.
Luckily, Becki was there to make sure they didn't eat me up, and we made it here. Everything was great.
But everybody was just incredibly fast, prompt, courteous. I mean, it was really amazing. I think, just to see the experience, because, this is a small town hospital, right? You never know. Do I want to come here? Do I need to run up to, one of the larger hospitals in the city? And it really, honestly, I think it changed both of our perspectives, the level of service that he got when he was here.
No, if something happened again, we would have it would be a first priority now to come here. It wouldn't be no decision making about it at all, because we had such a good experience here. If there's such thing as a good experience at a hospital, but doctors and nurses and all personnel is so good. So
we just really appreciate what people did for him and taking care of him.
And they act like they care about you. It wasn't just like you wasn't a number or just a body laying around. They stop and talk to you, and which I can talk to anybody, but it's nice for them to talk and act like they care. Enjoy what I do. And you pretty much got to if you're going to farm, raise cattle stuff, because you're not getting rich. So you got to enjoy what you're doing. Yeah, get me patched up so I can get going again. Mm-hmm. Because we raise hogs and we sell butcher hogs, and we raise registered Hereford hogs also. So make sure we get that in there.
And I think this is how he gets vacation every year.